Hi, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son, the Hamashiach, who some call, or Hamashiach, who some call, Yeshua, Yahushai, Yashayah, Yahusha. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. I've been gone for about a week, trying to get these Passovers out, garments out. In the last of my 28th full moon, for those doing a full moon, the last of those orders will be shipped out tomorrow. Well, Monday. Those who are celebrating on the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, around there. Dark moon brothers and sisters, those garments I'm gonna try to have out by the end of before the end of March. I'm gonna try to have those out. Hold on. Anyway, so I've been busy with that. That's where I've been, yo. Trying to get that stuff out because you know how important those garments are for Israel. And if they don't receive it by that date, it's you might as well don't even send it to them. They're gonna want a refund. That's how we operate. Don't matter what goes on. If and I've only had that happen once where the post office kind of screwed me over and the package didn't get there, and it was a rush order. Whew. And it was a rush, bro. Can you do it? It's just I know it's last second, and it didn't get there in time, and I don't even want to talk about it no more. But anyway, so I've been dealing with that. But the last video I did, I gave a warning about understanding the true meaning, the true reasoning behind the season, and getting more of the eschatological view, the eschatological understanding of the feast days, understanding what dispensation that we're in, understanding what priesthood we in, what covenant we're in. All of these things are essential because you'll be doing certain things out of order, or you'll be putting value on things that really don't hold any value anymore, and putting effort and strength in things that are plainly speaking just useless. It's pointless, because they were foreshadows or figures of something that was to come, that was greater, that's better, that's more efficient, that's it's more to the standard. It's perfect. And we're putting strength and holding on to the types and the foreshadows and the figures, instead of more importantly holding on to that thing that they're the figure of, which is Christ, which is the true Lamb. And my brother here, he's the first example. I'm sure there are going to be many more examples that we're going to come across, unfortunately, and we're going to speak about it. If I see him, I'm gonna speak about them. I'm gonna do a video, but this is, Sakari, that calendar that they own, that GMS calendar. They're one of the first ones out of the gate. They always have their Passover probably a month earlier before everyone else. Let me go ahead and get into this video.
The 10th day of the month. Okay, went and picked up the lamb, picked them out, right?
And y'all know what's going on. Ahryahla has separated and started his own camp called the House of Bread, if I'm not mistaken. He started his own camp called the House of Bread. Probably took over the Sakari, Philadelphia camp. I also seen the Passover of the brothers from Dallas, Sakari DTX. The Dallas camp has converged over to their own camp called the Masada camp or something like that. Or that might just be the brother's name. But that brother Masada, and excuse me, brother, if I'm quoting your name, but he started his own camp. Also, they had their Passover. I seen their Passover. Also, I have nothing to speak on their Passover because they weren't trying to act like this is something um, perfect unto God, and they're trying to do it this specific way to please God. So I have nothing to say about it. All praises. They had an excellent ceremony, but we'll talk later about these people that are broken off from Sakari. I think gird your loins, because and I mean that doctrinally, because he's going to come. Y'all just keep watching the videos. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. But I feel Chief Priest Gorilla Hebrew will come back, and he may start jumping on your panels. He may start calling in on your lives. All right, he may come in for the smoke. So y'all be mindful of that. Make sure you study to show yourself approved. You diligently search the scriptures, and rightly divide the word. Well, prepare yourselves.
Had him separated. He was by himself, separated from the rest of the other lambs, as the scriptures say, right? And then we went and picked him up on Wednesday during the day, right? Went up to the farm, right? I had to go down, rent a U-Haul, right? A U-Haul trailer, right? Early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Me and the priest, right? We drive up there.
You and the priest. And it's okay to call yourself a priest, but you understand. But I'm saying you need to understand that we're under a different priesthood. We have a high priest. You're not a priest. Now, you can say you are. There's nothing wrong with the cosplay, and it's okay to say you are, but you need to know that you're not. You're not a priest. We have a high priest. We don't need you Negroes touching the lamb, thinking that you're the high priest making atonement for us. But it's okay to cosplay in a ceremony, in a memorial way. All right. But I don't, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm just saying it for clarity, just to make sure that you brothers don't really think that you're a priest. I'm sure, like, I would like to think that you know this, but just to be sure, because when brothers were with Sakari don't really follow the book of Hebrews. Now, I've seen a recent video of this brother when he's on his own, and he is teaching out of the book of Hebrews. I don't know how he feels about that, but we had the order of Melchizedek and the high priest in under or after the order of Melchizedek that is mediating for us. And so we don't need no earthly priest in no earthly tabernacle, which you don't even have. We got a greater priest in a heavenly tabernacle, which the tabernacle on earth was a figure of. Again, gleaning and holding on to the figure in the foreshadow instead of looking toward the better promises, especially when it's already came, when it's already been established, if you believe the book of Hebrews. But, I'm just saying that because I don't want us out here to, you need to stop pretending. We need to stop again, it's okay to pretend, but just know you pretended. I think some of you brothers don't know that you're pretending, and I may have to say that.
Right, me, him, a brother by the name of, you guys may know him as Yakuyam. His new name is Ahryahla. Right, we go pick up the lamb. Right, we're getting footage of this, and this video will be coming out very soon through the Spirit. Right. So we picked up the lamb, right, on the 13th day, right, after we separated on the 10th day. And of course, the 14th day starts at even. So we bring the lamb to my home, right, and we slaughter the lamb at even. Now, for the past 5 years, that's not what's been going on, right? That's not how we've kept the Passovers, right? We have had lambs that were already slaughtered, right? You have sometimes the heads were removed, right? Sometimes the feet were removed, right? And last year was the first year in which Alazar had the audacity to slaughter a lamb, slaughter 4 lambs, had myself.
I'm gonna tell you this too. And I know this because I've been studying the One West history, all the different splits. And I've been following the schisms. One thing I understand, and again, people are all the same because it's all operation of the flesh. You're gonna have the same reactions. I can see the same patterns. But when a lot of times when someone skirts off from or schisms off or splits off and make their own camp, man, we gonna do this better, and we gonna do this, and we gonna do this, and we gonna show that we're doing it better. And an example of that is the fringes, and I know my brother here, Ahryahla, has been talking about that of late. The only reason we're wearing fringes every day, that the One West Israelism wear fringes every day, a lot of the camps that's come under that's doing that now, because the original school didn't do that. Excuse me, was because Bishop Nathaniel started had a schism. He started a camp with some other brothers called the 12 Tribes or something like that, and they said, you know what, we gonna wear fringes every day. They don't wear fringes every day. They only wear them on the Shabbat. And da 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 da. And woody woo. We finna do it like this. And we're gonna be whoa. And we gonna dress. You know what I'm saying? And so they took certain elements and they improved them. They made them better. And they made the outside of the cup look a lot better. That's one of Bishop Nathaniel's gifts, in my opinion, is he knows how to make the outside of the cup look better, look more organized. And he cleaned it up. And even today, they're a lot cleaner, lot more organized, lot more professional looking than the rest of the camps. But doctrinally, I feel they're probably one of the weaker camps. This is my opinion. For y'all get all in your feelings and da 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 da. I found out recently too. They wrote a book or pamphlet or something about the apologetics, challenging the apologetics. Y'all gotta stop, man. But y'all don't want to speak to them. So I just leave them alone. But let me not rant off on that. We'll talk about that another time. Y'all willing. But I'm seeing this with this brother also when he probably had a little feelings about the way Passover was being kept. Just wait, y'all just going to Publix and buying these little lamb chops, lamb shoulders. Man, we need to be slaughtering this lamb and doing it like this, and especially because they're teaching that we still should be doing sacrifices. That these sacrifices still kind of hold some power, or that the Lord still wants these things.
And the two aforementioned brothers, the brothers Gayashan and Yaquayam, who are now known as Chalak Yahweh Mayash Allah, right? We cooked that lamb last year all night, right? And we served it to the nation, right? To the people who came and kept the Passover with us, with the Sakari last year, right? And it's not a coincidence that the first two people I told about the evidence, once I received the evidence, was those two brothers, right? And those are the two brothers that came with me to go pick up the lamb, right? So we went and picked up the lamb on Wednesday, the 12th, right? And we slaughtered him that evening. So I want to just show you guys just a quick couple of just quick videos of this going on, right? So let me share this really quick so you guys can know where I've been and what I've been up to, right? Not sure if you guys will be able to hear. but that's fine, right? So let's take a look. I'm just put the volume all the way down. Right, so this is us, right? Picked up this U-Haul. Okay. And here's the lamb. Here's the priest. He's going in to get him. My little brother is on the camera right now. Right, and we grab him. Right, he tried to dart out.
They'll try to get him out of there.
My little brother is on the camera right now. Right, and we grab him. Right, he tried to.
And I had a slick picture. I wanted, but I forgot the picture stuff. But you see that red tag in the ear? It's over with. The lamb is blemished. It's trash. You know, that's how simple it. That's how detailed this thing. And that's why it's important to learn the law. Not saying that the brother doesn't know the law. This is just me, you know, just speaking in general. It's important to know it, to know the details, to know how much had how much effort, how much that had to go into making these sacrifices. For one, these, you know, the priests, you know, they had to be cleansed. They had to be cleansed. They had to be with virgins. The kids, you had to give your children away to a specific, you know, to your own tribe. You know, it's so many ordinances for operating in that priestly position. You know, you had to cleanse yourself a certain way before you make that sacrifice. And again, not trying to say that these brothers, I hope that these brothers aren't trying to think that this is a sacrifice. But this what it looks like when you're saying some of the things that you're gonna hear my brother say here. Now it's only we only got about 5 more minutes, y'all. I know I've been doing a lot of talking, but I just gotta guide y'all through this because I left a few clips out of here.
Right, and we grab him. Right, he tried to dart out. Here's us bringing the lamb.
And salute, you know, he put in a lot of effort. You know, he in the city, man. You know, to slaughter a lamb in your backyard, man. You know, in the city, you know what I'm saying? It's different up out here in Georgia, but to be in the heart of Philly, man.
The sisters were preparing unleavened bread. All praise to the Most High. And he's fighting, right? And here we bring him to my backyard, right? So that's us picking up the lamb, right? I want to also show you a couple pictures. All praise to the Most High, right? All praise to the Most High, right? So that's where I've been, guys, right? We kept a damn near perfect Passover. Right?
We kept a darn near perfect Passover. Absolutely not, sir. But if you feel that way, you feel it. But in my opinion, man, no, you're nowhere near. And that's why we have to understand the law and understand the true lamb. It's the whole reason the true lamb had to be sent down. And again, this is a foreshadow. I don't care how perfect it's not a perfect lamb. He sent down a perfect lamb. And I wanted to give this example, but I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna give y'all this.
The only thing that we were missing was the hyssop, right? We could not find hyssop at all. Like,
and he's saying the only thing you were missing was the hyssop. Oh, you missing all linen garments. You're missing a tabernacle. More importantly, you're missing a priesthood ordained by the Most High. Not, oh brother, you gonna be a priest. You know, come on, man.
called all over. Every nursery could not find hyssop, right? We got some type of lavender, which is close to hyssop, and we use that to put the blood on the doorpost.
You missing the unblemished lamb. Your lamb got plugged in the ear.
Actually, let me see. All right, boom, check this out. Show you guys this. So this is me putting the blood on the doorpost per the scriptures. Look at all the blood on my socks. It's all over my pants.
And he's literally putting the blood on the door. And two, there's another element of the difference between prescriptive and descriptive. Of course, the first instructions we see, I want to say Exodus 12, and it's giving us the whole thing of how all of these things played out. What everyone was to do at that particular moment. Eating fast, and having your staff ready, and your sandals on so you can get ready to go. We seeing these things described because there wasn't another event like the first Passover. Putting the blood over the door so that those death angels will pass over, and then go kill the firstborn. Like, you're putting that blood on the door. He's not finna kill the firstborn of your neighbors and everybody around you. Like, from that first point that we see described there, everything else is ceremonial. And you see that as a memorial in Exodus 12:27, that these things are memorial, and we're doing it for that reason. That's really the only reason. Is just for a memorial, that we remember the deliverance that we've gotten from the Lord, or Yahweh, or Yahweh, or Yahuwah out of Egypt. But the main deliverance came from the perfect lamb. All right, still a foreshadow, a figure of the true lamb that gave us a deliverance from sin and death, that we can enter into an eternal kingdom. All right. And I don't know if I ever seen anybody post their door. Maybe somebody out in the, out in the land. You got some land and stuff like that. But you around the HOA, and you know what I'm saying? Or you renting. You may can't do that. Or you in an apartment and you trying to do this, you might can't do that. And again, if you like, long as you know that this is ceremony, this is a memorial. But if we're thinking that you more righteous, or that this is bringing you closer to Yah, I think that could be problematic, because he already gave you, and I'm gonna give you the example. Let me just let this finish.
Are we going to be able to watch that off later?
And salute to the sister too, man. I pray I'm sure that's his real. sometimes sisters, you gotta let us be, you gotta let us, she's like, hey, and I'm sure that was just in her. Like when she was trying to hold it inside, like, I ain't gonna say that. But every time he was swiping that blood, I was like, wait a minute, that's enough blood. Like, man, you gonna be able to get that off? She finally said something. She probably been wanted to say something, but she finally said something, just to throw it out there just a little bit. You think you gonna be able to get that off? Look how you looking now. And sometimes, man, you gotta let us, you gotta let us be foolish. You gotta have patience with us. And I pray the brother was able to get that stuff off. But if he wasn't able to get it off, that's a time where sister, you ain't gotta throw it back in his face and be like, well, I told you couldn't get it off. I asked you. You just, a lot of times we'll see that, and if if it was like that was me in that case, and I came back out there and I couldn't get it off, then you ain't got to throw it in my face. I kind of know at that point, like, what, I should have just I should have kind of listened a little bit and draw back on it a little bit. It might not have needed that much blood, what I'm saying. But sometimes you got to deal with. I think that probably goes both ways. Sometimes you just got to let people, and to gain trust within the relationships, and to see each other's weaknesses. You got to let men be wrong and see that they wrong sometimes. And I'll take that back. I don't know if that works. I don't know if that works with sisters. But and it definitely works with me, man. If I get showed I do something foolish and you pointed it out, you ain't got to throw it back in my face. I got you. Yep. Got you on that. And then I'm going to lean on you. Next time you do it, I'm going to lean on you. Once I lean on you, I'm going to lean on you. And if you're wrong, then I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back I'm going to be back over here on my side. Leaning my way. You know what I'm saying? On those things. But, and then that's how you prove each other, and you see the strengths and the weaknesses, and you strengthen the bond. You know where I'm a little weak at, and you can give good advice there. But I just felt that was a perfect example of within a marriage, sister's able to say a little something, just throw a little hint out there, and brother receive it. If he don't receive it, and if it do work or whatever, it is what it is. Then y'all can move on from there. But I just seen that within the sister was kind of holding herself, like, is that enough blood? And then you eventually just have to say something, and nothing wrong with that. And again, I pray they was able to get that blood off. If not, you just paint over it.
So boom, blood on the doorpost.
And then you don't want your neighbor coming by like, man, what in the world done happened? They call the police. They see blood on the door, on the stoop. They walking by trying to go to the store. They see blood on the stoop. They're like, man, this done happened. It might have been a murder over there, man. We need to do a wellness check. And they go in the backyard and they see y'all skinning on, it causes all kind of issues. But all praises, man. They had a great Passover. But I just want to make sure that we clear on these things again. I gave the warning before. We're just gonna see some of the wording that my brother has here.
All praise to the Most High. Right, and then this right here, what I want to show you now is a picture. Right, got the blood on the doorpost, all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. So this is why I've been quiet, right? This is why I've been silent, haven't addressed this situation, because again, I had to plan a audible Passover, right? And the Most High God, through all my stress, He assured me that you guys I'm going to have you guys keep a perfect Passover, as perfect as possible. Right?
See, the Lord's told me that I'm going to have y'all keep the perfect Passover, as perfect as possible. And an example that I wanted to bring up is, doing stuff like that. It's like, say I told my wife to fix me a sandwich. All right, I asked her to fix me a sandwich. And she knows that I don't eat certain meats. Okay, that I don't eat pork. And she gives me the first sandwich she gives me is a BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. I heard a joke too that a comedian was saying. I forget who the comedian was, but he was talking about, man, a woman will make you another man's sandwich. She will make you her ex sandwich. Just sit down. Hey, you want a sandwich? Anyway, but she bring me a BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. And I'm like, man, I don't want that. That ain't what I eat. So she goes in there and makes another sandwich and brings it to me. Yeah, this sandwich here also has bacon on it. You know, it's a turkey sandwich, but it got the bacon on it and lettuce and tomato. It's a turkey club. Say, man, I don't want that. Just told you I don't want that. She come back, she make me another sandwich. All right, this time it's a bologna sandwich. It's a pork bologna sandwich. She done fried it, you know, to that bologna pop up in the middle. Crispy edges. Done toasted, done grilled the bread. Put the salt and pepper on the tomatoes. At this point, I throw the sandwich. Throw the sandwich away. I take all the pans, all the stuff out of there. Like, don't make me no more sandwiches. I don't want nothing. Don't make me no. And I make my own sandwich. I make my own sandwich. I make it perfect. It's a perfect sandwich for me. But then my wife comes back, brings out the pots and pans again. Go back, fry up some more darn bacon, and fix me a grilled cheese with bacon, and tries to hand it to me with some chicken noodle soup. Now, what you think? How you think I'ma feel after I done made the perfect sandwich for myself, then ate it, full, pleased with the perfect sandwich I made, and then she's coming in after done failed 3-4 times with the sandwich situation. I done made my own sandwich. Then she coming in even after that. Then watch me make my perfect sandwich. Come in and still make a sandwich that's flawed, that's not perfect, and try to hand it to me. What do you think I'm gonna do? I might sling that sandwich across the darn living room, man. And that's what we're doing. When the Most High is already given himself this perfect lamb. We've already sent down this perfect lamb from himself that he had from the foundation of the earth. And we're feeling like, oh, well, the Lord telling them, man, I'm going to give you the perfect. Bro, he already made the perfect sacrifice. But he wants you to keep the perfect Passover. Okay, if you feel that way. But understand that this is just a memorial. All right. You saying the Lord told you that? I can't argue with you there. I don't believe you. But that's how you feel about it. That's how you feel about it. But I'm just trying to warn the rest of the flock about, again, holding on to the figure in the type.
Right. Because the last 5 years, right? Last 6 years, guess what? This is my 7th Passover, guys. My first Passover was in April of 2019, right? In San Diego.
And that's another thing. The bar in Israel is very low. You can start a camp within a month. You can watch camp videos, get the precept packet down within a month and go start a camp and teach. This brother says he's been in the truth 7 years, 6 years, and he's written the Bible. He's been confident enough to present a text where he's, I guess I don't have the book. I know he changed the name, probably put Yahweh in there, but I don't know the interworkings if he translated anything besides just changing the name. But just the boldness of that. and you only been in this thing 6-7 years. It's crazy to me, for the lack of words. But I understand why he had that level of confidence, because the bar is very low scholastically within Israel. I don't know nothing. And I'm not saying that like I'm that I know more than him. No, I know I don't know nothing. But I've been in here a lot longer than 7 years. And I would never, you know. And salute to what's my brother name? Jedediah. He says he translated a book, or he translated the King James back into Hebrew. I guess he did like some reverse translation, and I think he uses Yahweh as and maybe one day we can get him on and break down how you come up with Yahweh. What was, anyway, I want to get to that. That's a whole nother subject. Y'all, I get your ranting on, but that's how my brain be going.
Then when our first one in Atlanta was 2020, where I did the lamb, right, for the first time, and I've been doing the lamb ever since. So 2020, so 2019, first one in San Diego. Second one is in Atlanta, right? 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, boom, 25. 7 Passover completion, right? So I gotta give all praise, all glory, all honor to the Most High God, Yahweh, for just continuing to use me as a vessel in this community, right? Continue to lead me down a path, the straight and narrow path, and Lord willing, He keeps me in this thing and keeps me and the brothers that I labor with in this thing.
And with the allegations, I think the brother did admit to, he didn't know though, but he committed adultery. But unknowingly, you think you can touch that lamb and put perfect in the same conversation of, man, y'all tripping.
So that we can inherit the kingdom, right? So with that said, let's dive into
Anyway, y'all, pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. We'll see y'all on the next one. Shalom, shalom.